Anita Sarkeesian. We got some Anita news. Everybody's favorite feminist on the internet. She came out today and announced that after 15 years, feminist frequency will be shutting down. You hear that? You hear that? Nobody cares. Feminist frequency, in my opinion, was one of the most cringe things about the internet. If you remember about a decade ago, holy cow, it's been about a decade since the Gamergate word. As a fellow Gamergate veteran, I gotta say, that was a time on the internet. You think the internet's chaotic now? It was the Wild West back then. We had one side of the gaming community that felt that it was full of nothing but toxic, masculine, vile human being. And we had another side that likes ass and titties in our video game, which is basically what it came down to it. On top of that, there was other stuff like the Zoe Quinn scandal and gamers getting favors from gaming journalists to praise their game. And we had rumblings of all this social justice wokeness that was brewing up in the game. Yeah, essentially all the nonsense you see in video games started brewing through Gamergate. And at the forefront of it all was Anita Sarkeesian, who crowdfunded thousands of dollars for her Feminist Frequency series, where she wanted to go against tropes in video games that were considered toxic and promoted the patriarchy. She had a lot of hot takes about Legend of Zelda and Super Mario and Tomb Raider. To be honest, I thought it was all junk, but she had this way about herself that I would probably hate fuck her if I had the chance to do it. Especially those hoop earrings, guys. What do you call hoop earrings? Ankle red. Now, if you remember back then, I had a variety of friends like Alpha Mega Sim that would constantly call her out, and just Gamergate was completely nuts. And now she is shutting down operations. This literally feels like the end of Infinity Saga. And I gotta be completely honest though, I feel the damage from her nonsense has been completely done. We have a lot of SJWs in gaming that make a lot of woke video games that have stupid social commentary, and at times it's a bit much. Feminist Frequency gained notoriety as a YouTube series analyzing the poor representation that women had, when I completely disagree, regardless of what your opinion is. I felt it was a way to gaslight the gaming industry and sucker money out of people because they never really fulfilled their promise, because she quietly started to abandon the series after a while after making several stretch goals. On top of that, in 2020, she actually founded a gaming and online harassment hotline where you can report harassment online. That's being shut down as well, so we see all this went well. Now, in her announcement, she made a statement. She said, "We made changes to an industry that were desperately needed, shaking up the status quo and distributing content in the early days of video game punditry." Whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. She continued to say, "While we weren't the first voices in the conversation about inclusion in gaming, we were part of building a community that meant more to its members than we could ever have anticipated." Now, she said the organization's work in criticizing the game industry for its depictions and treatment of women led for her to be a constant subject of harassment online. But I disagree on that. I think the reason why she was harassed was because she was just insufferable as a human being. She was constantly gaslighting people, attacking them. If you remember, one time she had a panel where Boogie2988 was on it, and she attacked him verbally after the panel. She even called me out once on Twitter for me complimenting her. I said she was a very attractive, hot-looking woman and that I would like to take her out for a dinner. She didn't like that at all. They even won a Peabody Award for combating harassment in the gaming industry. Where's my award at? Can I get an award for dealing with trolls? Anyways, as I said, if you remember Gamergate, it was a pretty harsh time on the internet, whether you were on the side for it or against it. Me personally, I feel the stuff that Gamergate brought out was not attention to bad representation in video games and stuff, but attention to some of the weirdos that are out there that are just looking for things to cry about in video games. It doesn't matter if somebody is a damsel in distress in a video game. That doesn't make Super Mario Brothers a toxic video game. I don't see why people would act like snowflakes over Lara Croft wearing shorts in a video game. It's okay for women and male characters in video games to have some kind of sexualization about them, because those games like Street Fighter, Tomb Raider are meant to be played by men, by grown adults. Sure, females will play them too, but who's to say that females won't enjoy looking at that? We like looking at attractive things. It's not exactly fat shaming or ugly shaming or contributing to bad tropes or whatever. Most of the time, you're forgetting the one important thing that came with those video games. It was great storytelling. The Legend of Zelda had some of the best stories of all time in the whole franchise, and Anita Sarkeesian took a shit on it just because Zelda was a damsel in distress. Honestly, I'm glad Feminist Frequency is long gone because I think it was a garbage project that shouldn't have ever gotten funded. Am I going to make people mad by saying that? Quite possibly, but I don't care because guess what? Bye, and good riddance, Anita Sarkeesian. I will see you on the other side. Now, if you go to Polygon, which is a pretty cringe website, you can see they wrote an article, and this article basically sucks off Anita Sarkeesian and all of her efforts and everything in the gaming industry. I will give her credit. Some of the stuff that she said and did definitely changed the landscape of the gaming industry for better or for worse, depending on which way you look at it. I know if I come out and say that I was against almost every single thing that she tried to criticize in the gaming industry, that people would probably hold my head on a pike. These gamer gators at one point were extremely hostile towards anybody that was part of the patriarchy. At times, they didn't like anything that is masculine. And it seems that it's starting to go that way, which when you watch my channel, I cover a lot of this anti-woke stuff. And it seems like more and more and more we're getting some of this stuff embedded in our media. These woke ideologies. And it's not about, oh, just be a good person and be diverse and accept people who they are. When one side is attacking another side and wanting to completely get rid of that train of thought, that's when I have a problem with it. When Anita Sarkeesian was arguing that video games like Zelda and Mario Brothers are toxic because you rescue a princess and that they should be changed, I feel that's a little bit too radical of thinking for me. It's just simple storytelling, the tale old as time. It's not because you're getting a princess to have sex with her as a trophy object. It's a more simpler, more innocent story in my opinion, but you can interpret it any way that you want. I'm not losing any sleep over Anita Sarkeesian being gone, and neither should you. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Wait. I want to announce something. I am now available for video request on Cameo. So if you need me to do a fun little video idea for you, like break up with your girlfriend, ask a girl out, maybe roast somebody that you don't like, hit me up on Cameo. My rates are cheap, and I'm quick and easy, just like your mother. So yeah, link down below in the description, in the comments. Request a cameo from me. Who are you going to spend it on? Some fucking celebrity that doesn't give a shit about you? Get 8BE.